I want to thank the families who came out tonight, the kids who are here tonight. My kids were in diapers, and I wanted to give back to the community. I was a baseball player before I got into a car accident. And WPPO was my home. I started, I just went to be an assistant coach. And you know how you guys work. Before I left that night, I was the head coach. Didn't know any of the kids. We didn't, where I grew up, we didn't draft. Everyone was a hat pick, and the coach just hoped for the best for that season, right? Not everyone played. You know, someone rode the bench the whole season, and you had to wait your turn. But after my experience with Pony, met some good people out there. I spent a couple seasons in Bronco, and then my oldest, they weren't in diapers anymore. So I came, went over to Pasadena, started coaching there. I've been coaching for over 10 years. I haven't had my cleats on in a couple of months because my kid, my youngest, is actually now in the aged out of the 12U, and fall is just not workable for a team. But we already have the coaching staff ready for the next season. In 2007, 8, I stood here and I blasted the city commission for park fees. I led the charge to reduce them down to $5, and if it's a military family, they don't pay a dime. And I want to have our police officers and firefighters that work here get the same rate as a resident. So this one issue, for me, is very, very personal because it's the reason why I actually got engaged in public service. Now, I also didn't know that when I signed my kid up in Pasadena, that some folks ripped them off by $17,000 and started hopscotching to different organizations, being welcomed in to only do the same thing over again. Okay, enough. You know, there are too many parents who are paying mortgage payments for a trainer. Our kids aren't for sale. I'm sorry, they're not. They're kids. So, the other thing that's not for sale is the Pembroke Pines culture. There are some awesome people from Miramar and Cooper City and Davie and Hollywood who participate in our programs, and I welcome them all the time. But when it comes down to it, a Pembroke Pines resident knows the Pembroke Pines culture and what's best for the Pembroke Pines Park. And one of the provisions in here is to make sure that the Optimist board is made up of Pines residents. That's not to say that the dad in Miramar can't help out and help around the clubhouse. But making the financial decisions in the direction of a program, I believe should be a Pines resident. So, very few people disagree with me, and probably the ones who disagree with me are from Miramar. But it's okay. We love you down there. But I want to thank Christina and the city manager for taking on a tremendous burden of trying to fix so many wrongs. The president of Pasadena, Sandy Arias, is in full support as written, with a few exceptions that I'm going to roll out today. We've discussed it. I've spoken with, with my girls over at Fletcher. It's about making sure each club has its own unique set of circumstances, because that's just who we are as a city. There's a few things that I want to make sure that we change. Number one, in the agreement, and this is the first priority, in the agreement it says only 501c3s can operate. We have to include 501c4s, because all of y'all out there who are 501c3s can lose your status like this overnight. Just ask the IRS, they'll take it from you. How do we know that? Because we have clubs who've been operating since 2010 as a 501c4 in this city. Okay? And they're nonprofit, and the only difference is what forms they file and whether or not their donation is fully, is a full write-off or not. That's the only difference. And if you look up the definition of a 501c4, it says organizations designed for sports. So we're all in the same ballpark there. So if the city manager, that needs to be included, and we spoke about that. For the, I'm just going to go down my number.
I have a question. If the commissioner makes a suggestion, that would be a change, because I think there are only 2 clubs in the city that are 501c. All the others are 501c3s. So
Can we do this? Can we do this for clarity,
it should
Commissioner?
be either or, I guess.
Let's have everybody meet. We can bring out the specifics rather than tonight.
Mayor, here's, and with all due respect, we have a spring season that's starting in literally 8 weeks. Okay? This isn't a fiscal year issue. As a matter of fact, I've been asking for this for weeks. Commissioner Castillo brought it up 30 days ago. Okay, here's what I want to do. I have spoken with many of the organizers who've contacted me. I'm just going to run through it very quickly, and it's only about 7 items. You can say that only some of the optimists aren't. We only have 4 optimists in the city, and 50% of them are 501c4s. Okay, yes, we have other organizations that are 501c3. I'm specifically speaking about the optimists on it. Here's the other thing too, field use. The city's not doing its part. Maintaining fields, scheduling, the ease of scheduling. Our staff, they gotta get their act together. This stuff in this agreement, Mayor, that says that if there's a rainout, we have to wait until Monday when the moon is out to make an adjustment is a bunch of garbage. Okay, we are a 24/7 recreation city. We have to have city managers, someone in place to answer that phone call, someone in charge at 4 o'clock on a Saturday or 10 a.m. on a Sunday. If these organizations want to make a makeup game on a Sunday, they should have their fields lined without the coach actually the one doing it. That's what their taxpayers As far as the clubs not communicating with the city with schedule changes, you gotta do a better job there. So, sexual predators. Okay, Commissioner Cypress supported my initiative to ban these folks from the city. Commissioner Cypress brought forward level 2 background check. Here's the deal. WPPO, they've always had certification badges. The rest of the city doesn't. Has to happen. Also, what needs to happen is parents need to know what that badge looks like. And I would like to see the city manager have signage in every field identifying what the badge looks like with the number to the police department if you find someone on the field who is not wearing one. Next, I spoke to Mayor Ross, Cooper City, beautiful city. I told him what was coming. He was getting calls too about the optics. What the hell's going on down there? I said, we want to make sure that we can check arrest records. Just because you weren't convicted doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, yeah. So we're going to include a full screening to protect our kids. That's in the agreement. Field shutdown. Section 4.11 doesn't work. You cannot shut the fields down between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We do have the need to have field rest, okay? And we can work that out because all optimists follow the Broward County school schedule, so you got those 2 weeks to get it done. Next is the section 417, lightning detector equipment. We cannot ask the optimists to be responsible for equipment that we are responsible maintaining. How many times does this stuff not work? It's got to stop, city manager. We need to have a safety checklist on a daily basis to make sure that they're ready. EKGs. The EKG application. this city commission wants to make sure that there's no issues with activity. Joe DiMaggio gives away free EKG screening. So as a city, we can't require parents to do it. We can strongly encourage them to do it. Therefore, I would like to see a part of the provision of 4.24 to be a part of your application process to inform that participant that you as a club care deeply about that child and try to get it done. The 6.3 is the 6.3. 6.3 talks about having meetings with your parents and parents having meetings with the organization. This commissioner back in June of 12 required that of the city. And the Optimist chose to have one person designated to meet with the city every 6 months. And there was some collusion going on because the city had the meeting, but no one was showing up. Oh, I guess if we don't show up, I guess we can't have a meeting. No, it doesn't work like that. It's also required as a part of that ordinance that those meetings are posted on your website. You know they're not on there. We know they're not on there. But we need to make sure. The whole purpose of this is to make sure that parents have an opportunity to meet with the city so we can get an unbiased, independent assessment of how you as a club are doing from a customer service standpoint and what we're doing right and wrong when it comes to field and just general programming. That's already in place, and 6.3 covers that. Mayor, there isn't anything else that I can see, that Pasadena sees, that Fletcher Park sees, that's objectionable. Now, Fletcher and Pasadena did not join the legal team. They didn't. There's a reason. Because it's the right thing. So, when I have parents who are told, yeah, you can join the travel team, and we've got this coach, he gets $25 a week, and little Johnny can play as long as he gets his money. Not in Pembroke Pines. Oakland Park, Tamarack, North Lauderdale have banned travel. Banned it. You can't have it, right, City Attorney? So, we want to have a travel program in Pembroke Pines. We just don't want someone making a boat payment on a parent. It's just not going to be. It's just not right. So, Mayor, we have a season that starts January 1. Based upon what we've already approved, we only have 2 commission meetings left. One in November, one in December. Here's the one thing that I heard is the financial impacts of the clubs. The current agreement says that the city can ask for a financial statement now. So what would you do? Well, hopefully you're paying your taxes and filing your reports, so that should be easy. You hand over a certified CPA copy and it's done. Now, are we asking for forensic audits? No. But when we're getting emails and phone calls about parents accusing Optimist boards and coaches doing side work, well, of course that's going to bring on a commission auditor who's going to ask for the things necessary.
Wrap it up.
I'm wrapping this up. I'm wrapping it up. So, if there's anything that came out of this discussion, I hope you know that we are all in this thing together. And when I say it's about the kids, it's about the kids. Whether it's a baseball program, softball program, God bless you, we need lacrosse, we need more soccer fields, we need flag football, and we know what's going on with tackle. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why, as Pines residents, we have to travel all over South Florida. We have 4 clubs who could play each other in interleague, but because of, let's just say, a difference of ego, we can't travel down Pines Boulevard together. The experience that I can tell you, as a parent, the experience that I have in our community versus traveling to a community east of 95 is so completely different. The stress to drive there, the stress of the culture, the
Okay,
stress of the
Commissioner,
referees,
the long agenda.
or the umpires. So, I'd like to be able to finally get to the point where we have 4 clubs, the only schedule is a Pines location, that's all I have.
Thank you, thank you.